Hi, YouTube. Let me take my little leather penny out because I already had some in there. I think I've sent most of you some of these. They're just little pieces of leather. And when you still have some in your pipe, I tuck it in there. My dad always had a leather penny in his pocket, and I think that's probably where I got it from. But you stick it in there, and that way when you put it into your pouch or whatever, or your pocket, as I do a lot, got pockets in my dress, it keeps the tobacco and the ash in there. So if you get any of those, that's what it's about. I'm smoking one of my Dunhills. It's a little bitty bulldog. I know I show you my bulldogs, but this is a little bitty one. This is like the perfect size. I think it's a 2 or 3. And it has a bit on it. I mean, a rubber tip on it, because with it being this small, I'll have a tendency to leave it in there and talk with it. So, and this is really probably one of my oldest pipes, and probably my best loved tamper. There we go, ink pen, you know. And you can tell by some of the edges on that this has been used a lot. I've never burned through a Dunhill. I did burn through 2 in a row. Right in a row, I burnt through 2 pipes just recently, and they were nothing pipes. They were my Stetsons and stuff, and they always burn. I always burn through right there by where that hole is, because I think that's what draws that most heat. And if I pack them wrong, of course, I have a problem. I guess I was blowing a little ash there, wasn't I? It doesn't sound right. So, here's what we're talking about today. So I talk to Danny Shore all the time, you know. And so I thought I'd give you an update on Danny. And tell you about, you know, of course I'm selling some more of his pipes again. Here I go again. But it's still a lot of fun because, you know, how often do you get to stroke some other man's pipes? And yeah, I meant that just the way it sounded. I took notes when I was talking to him, and I don't know where the notes went, but that's kind of how I do it. It seems like if I write something down, I kind of remember it better. But here's the lowdown. All right, at the beginning of the month, he went back to California and had trouble getting an MRI because the fluids wouldn't go through. They couldn't get it through for him to see a good scan. So they did it again, and I guess they got it through better the second time. But the bottom line on that is, next week they're going to do surgery again. They're going to try to come get the second tumor because they've since found another one. They're not sure if it's a cyst or if it's a tumor because he had the radiation, and sometimes that radiation will cause a bit of a cyst or another growth. It might be benign, but with him having brain cancer and it spreading like it does, the chances of it being benign or a cyst are not as great as it being just another malignant tumor. They're having to do surgery because when he did all of the radiation, it still did not fix or deplete or diminish the tumor that he has currently right now. The problem with that is, and this is the kind of really disturbing part, is this may affect his eyesight. And for sure, anytime something's done in the area that they're going to go to do this, to pull this tumor out, if they can remove it, it will probably cause him, I hope not long, but it could cause him temporary blindness just because of the inflammation and the trauma that's done in the area that they're taking the tumor. But they have to do that. They cannot get the fluid through that go into the rest of the brain because the tumor that he currently has is, I don't know if I want to say really deflecting that, but it's keeping it from them getting better scans and stuff. And he can't go to his second chemo until they've taken care of the current tumor that they're taking care of. And so I'm so glad he came down when he did, because I hate to think, you know, that he didn't get down here. But or over. I guess Kansas is over from him, and then he will start into a chemo as soon as he gets done with the brain surgery. And like I say, once again, it's going to be sometime next week. I don't think he gave me a day. I don't know if they know the exact day yet and time, but he'll go in and have that done. And he does sometimes leave little comments here and there, and he leaves them, a lot of times you'll see him on my video that, he's thanking everybody for the pipes and stuff. I haven't really done the pipe sales. I'm kind of slacked off on that, so I've got to get in gear on that again, because now with this new surgery, once again, the expense and the medical expenses are going to start piling up even faster than they currently are, because he's in that group that doesn't have a good insurance. So anyway, I was just letting you know that he's there, he's out there and about, and he's watching us, and he's listening to us, and he would like to do more commenting and more videos. I'm hoping he does one pretty soon. He said he would, but it's really tough when you have so much going on in your life, and he kind of feels out of control, which any of you guys, I know everybody understands this. When you've got so much going on, so much is being planned by going to this doctor, going to the MRI, going to the blood specialist, going and seeing your anesthesiologist before you go into surgery, them doing a couple extra things, doing blood, taking blood. I don't know if he's given blood so he gets his own blood back or not, because I've always done that when I've had surgery, but, I don't know if it's one of those things that he's going to necessarily think he needs to do or not. And you don't think about doing that, to people. But either way, I'm basically just letting you know and giving you an update so that everybody, keep thinking good thoughts for him. Keep him in your prayers, keep him in your mind. And remember, Danny Shore is the only Danny Shore there is. So we have to hang on to him. He's like, one of the old grandpas in our YouTube community, or the papas. I call him Poppy. Kind of a, and that came about because, Puerto Rican, hey Poppy Poppy, more of a boyfriend Poppy than it is a daddy Poppy, so he's one of my poppies. He is my Poppy. And I really don't know how to do this, he is really not as communicative about it to everybody as he is to me, and I know that. And I know that you guys are concerned about him, and I'm hoping I try to keep you as updated as I can. I wish I had better news. I wish I could say that when he went back and he got the MRI that they found that the tumor had diminished and that, everything's great. But as it is right now, they're going to go in and they're going to do the surgery for that one. I'm not sure where the third tumor, because there's actually now 3. One was removed, the one that he'll have removed from the area that will maybe affect his eyesight, and then there's another one, and I'm not sure of the location of the other one. They are hoping that it is just, a cyst or a blood tumor. We'll find out. And when I find out, I'll let you know. But that was just a quick update. I'm not trying to bring you down. He's upbeat about it, and he's his stubborn, bald-headed, mean, unreal self anyway, but he's still very dear to all of us. So do keep him in your thoughts. Do keep him in your prayers. If you drop him a line, that's nice. Don't be surprised if he just does a broadcast, of thank you kind of thing. His sister Elaine is right there with them all the time, which is hard also on both of them to be continually surrounded by the same person. But she is, checking into his emails and checking his mail and things. So don't not communicate with him just because he doesn't communicate back. It's not because he doesn't appreciate you and he doesn't like you all or anything like that. It's just he's talking very good. When I talk to him, he makes sense and stuff. and he does lose a little bit of train of thought, but for the most part, he's talking pretty good, but he is still having trouble getting his eye-hand coordination. And with the surgery, like I say, you have to remember that anytime that there's any kind of brain surgery done or anything done in that any area of your brain, left affects the right affects the left. He's trying to beat this cancer, and we're all pulling for him. We're all doing what we can. I am selling some more of his pipes, so you'll start seeing those videos. They're not flash sales like they were before. I think I had up a couple of his really nice pipes and stuff, but I didn't get a lot of interest on those. He had 2 beautiful Paul's pipes that just didn't seem to garner much interest. He's had a couple that we've put up and we've taken back down because they have sold pretty quick. And now we're going to go into, he said those 3 little words that, he just has to say one time to me. And he said, I don't care. So once again, he's ready to give up, and not give up, but he's given in, and he's saying, let's get more gone. And from what I understand, he's got a bunch of more pipes still at his house, which would make sense. Not only just the ones that he likes and that he smokes all the time, but also he has some new in box Medicos maybe, or K-Woodies, I'm not sure what it is, but these are old stock that's still new. And I think he's planning on doing that as a video of doing them all at once, putting up the 30 boxes at one time for sale kind of thing. But I don't know on that, and I don't push him. I don't push him to sell them. I don't push him to keep them. For me, any pipe is a memory, and the same way with him. Some pipes he bought to clean and resell, and some of them just the joy of buying. We all have the PAD. We all want something, and then I get it. It's as I'm looking through some of his pipes, some of them I'm saying, hey, these are pretty neat. And then, of course, now I'm getting paperwork with a lot of them, so I know what he paid for them. And on some of them, I'm thinking, Jiminy's Christmas, why would anyone pay that kind of money for that pipe? It's just all in everybody's own choices. It's what you prefer, what you desire, what you like. And so it's been kind of fun because as I'm going through his pipes and have been going through them and selling them and stuff, I'm finding what's attractive about some pipes that don't attract me personally, but I can see where, it attracted him. He's got some Kirstens, the metal pipes. I've had a couple metal pipes, and they were okay, I've got my little yellow bowl, I got my Falcon, I got a Kirsten. He's got a real neat one that's all wood, and he's got a brand new black one that's kind of neat and stuff. So he's got some more pipes coming up, and I just want you guys to know that once again, I'm not making anything on these. This is all Danny's pipes. This is all Danny's money. As a matter of fact, I'm paying for the shipping. So I'm doing what I can. I can't do a lot. I wish I was there. I'm one of those. Oh God. Nurturing kind of people that, tries to think in advance of what you're going to need, and I drive people crazy. So it's probably a good thing that I'm not right there, because, I'd be right on top of him. That didn't sound right, did it? Well, yeah, it did, but, I would be just mothering him to death, and I smother people. So it's probably a good thing there's a few miles between us. I am planning on trying to get down there in a couple of months, over there to California, Kansas, California, over. I keep saying down, up, over, but it's really over. And I'm planning on going over in a couple of months because win or lose, I want to be with my friends, and Danny's one of my friends. So you keep him in your prayers, you keep him in your thoughts. Give him an email just for the heck of it and say, good job, boy, and let him know that, this is we're behind him on this. Gosh, I know I sound like such a whiny person, don't I? But he doesn't want to talk about himself. You know, he doesn't want to get on and say, oh, poor me, and stuff. I'm hoping that he gets on through all of this because there's some other things coming up that I am strange. But after they get this done, he's going to get that little cap that goes on your head where they put little electrodes and you carry electricity with you, and it zaps that all the time, so that any time it does start to grow, get a growth going, and that electricity at random and stuff is supposed to be zapping that. And I just think that's really neat, and so I want to be. I want him to be well enough we can see that going, you know, in action, because that means he's pretty good. If they're going to do that, then that means that he's about there, you know, to the end of this. I've got friends that, you know, have done this. You've all got friends that have, cancer has affected everybody's life, I think now, has touched everybody in some way or another. I had it years and years ago. I had 3 different kinds. I got over it. It took me a long time, but I did get through it. But it also leaves you with the realization that we are all mortal. And coming into contact with your own mortality is a very scary thing. And it doesn't matter how big, how old, how stubborn, how grumpy of a guy you are. You know, when you're facing your own mortality, there is always that little bit of fear. And part of that fear is, will I be remembered? And I think that I think he needs to know that he's going to be remembered. He's remembered now. He always will be, and he's in our thoughts. So happy, happy, joy, joy. You know I'm watching you. I have been watching you. I just have been a little busy, and there's other things going on besides just Pipes and Danny and YouTube. And that's in everybody's life. And so I've got, my plate is really full. And I know they say God doesn't give you more than you can handle. But, you know, sometimes I'm wondering if he's really in tune with what you can handle. Because this is an awful lot for anybody to be handling what he's going through. And so keep him in your prayers. Is this like the wrong venue for this? I hope not. I really do hope that all of you watch this all the way through and do think to give Danny a little, hey, how you doing? And he watches this. He watches me. He will be watching the comments that come on here. So, you know, just attach a comment to here. You know, I make sure he knows it. I talk to him. I say quite a bit. You know, I read to him what's on the comment sometimes, because he doesn't do Instagram and I do Instagram. So sometimes I'll tell him that, you know, so-and-so said something to him on Instagram and stuff. And so don't be afraid to talk to him. You know, just send your comments. Happy, happy, joy, joy. You know we are all watching you.